right, welcome into it's the Rise and Grind Morning Show. It is Thursday, September 5th, 2024, just 3 days away from the home opener kickoff to the season. Hope you guys are excited as I am. And this morning, welcomed by Eric Wintemaki as usual. Eric, good morning. How you doing today?
I am absolutely fantastic. It's kickoff day, the first day of football. We finally get to see some football today.
Yeah, we get to see the lowly Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs and the Ravens tonight, which actually should be a really good game. You know, you just never know. We'll talk about this too a little bit. You just never know what's going to happen in week one. You know, you haven't seen the majority of the starters. Nobody really knows, you know, who's going to be doing what changes have they made. And yeah, it should be interesting to see how the Chiefs and the Ravens handle each other tonight.
Just remember, last year the Chiefs didn't win their first game of the season because the lowly Lions came to town and kicked the snot out of them, right? So I'm hoping once again tonight that the Chiefs play on opening night and they don't win once again on opening night. 2 years in a row. Let's make it 2 in a row.
That would be interesting. Look, the Ravens are going to be tough. I mean, let's just be honest here. Henry and Lamar. I mean, when you think about the possibility here of Lamar doing what Lamar does, if he were to pull the ball away from Henry, you know, if they crash the line on Henry, Lamar's just going to pull it back and run the other direction. And then you got nobody over there to cover him. That is going to be such a very, very difficult offense to read and react to. You're going to get beat one way or the other. So I'm glad that we don't have the Ravens on the schedule this year.
Yeah.
I'm
so
glad.
If Coach DC is watching this morning, I'm going to be rooting for your Ravens tonight. You root for my Lions. I'm going to root for your Ravens tonight.
I don't know
Just
about all that.
Just for tonight.
Yeah. So my audio, look, I made some changes to it yesterday, and they're saying it's low. And see, I think it's really hot. Like it's high. Rob Brown says I'm low. Does anybody else think I'm low? You guys have your volume turned all the way up? I'm just curious. Because I tried to make some adjustments to get some of the pitchiness out of it. Sounds good to Morale Tarantino. Ryan says it's low.
Am I much louder than Will?
Morning, Mike P. Little low. All right, let me do this. Let me dial it up just a little bit. If it gets distorted, just let me know. I'll move it up just a little.
There you go.
All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you. I know it was low, like bassy low, and that's the other thing that I was trying to get out of there. Let me adjust one more thing, and then we'll get rolling. All right, there we go. Hopefully that should open it up a little bit. Oh, you know what? Compressor. Let's just turn the compressor down. Sometimes compressor gets messed with. All right, that should be better. That should be more opened up. Anyway, welcome into the Rise and Grind Morning Show. So we've got a few headlines today, but we're going to go through the playoff predictor. So you guys know I did the playoff predictor way before training camp even. And I said that I wanted to do it one more time before the season started. Now, back right here, this board, I have had this board set right there for 6 weeks now? It was the first preseason game I did this board right there with Chef on. I had Chef on the show. We were doing the play-by-play, and I did that board and put everything up there. There is one of the better shows to watch in the morning. Let me move my chair. Hold on. My dog hit my paddle, and it put my chair down. One of the better shows to watch, Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager, who's been one of the more accurate. I do like to put myself in the Peter Schrager category the last couple of seasons as far as accuracy. Not anywhere near as good as that dude, but accuracy. I've been pretty accurate with a lot of my calls. And I hope that I continue that this year. But if you notice on that board, I don't have my mic with me that I can walk with. I had the Arizona Cardinals at number 2, and I had the Rams at number 1 in their division. Peter Schrager did the same thing. No one was believing in the Cardinals except for this guy. I think the Cardinals are going to be coming all the way back this year. and do some great things. I really do. But we'll talk about all. We'll see what it does. But let's have some fun with the playoff predictor. But before we do that, let's get to some news and some headlines, and also welcome in our chat this morning. Eric, would you like to welcome in the chat while I get a couple of things rolling?
Sure. So today we got Uperlights myself. We got Mark Parker. We got Let's Go Lions. Jay-Z, Ryan Van Valkenburg, Peter Van Larhoven, Moonscar Blade, Rob Brown, King S.J., Jason McNeil, Fred Peterson, Mike P., Elizabeth LaValle, Michael Garrity. How's it going today, Michael? Let's see. Fred Peterson, Wayne Rogers, Kyle Defoe, Carlos Laralde, Rick, Mr. Morale Tarantino, Shane Smith, and Trace. As always, you guys make this the best morning show in the world. We got 76 people in right now. We got 28 likes. Let's get it up to 50 so we don't get ads. We don't put ads on the channel. All we ask is that you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we are up to, let's see, 5,630 subscribers. So we only need 340 more subscribers to get to that next helmet giveaway. Every 500 subscribers, Will gives away an awesome signed mini helmet.
Glad you can do math this morning.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, I added a little bit more light. So if you guys also notice down in these corners, I got the Lions torches. And I was gonna do something fun with it, but yeah, we got 2 Lions torches now that are in the studio. So those things are pretty sweet, man. They're gonna look great outside next year. We'll do a Survivor series with them. That's what I was gonna do. A little Survivor series, maybe towards the playoffs. We'll do something fun with it.
Has the tribe spoken? Am I voted off the island?
No, but your Packers are.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna be nice today. I'm feeling all nice and vibrant and happy. I'm not going to pick on the Packers today.
You know what that usually means. All right, so headlines and news. Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs. Look, we've had some good news on Gibbs. We've heard that he's good to go, which is great. But there's one caveat to this that Dan Campbell and the rest of the training staff wanted to make very clear to Jahmyr Gibbs, and that was that the second-year running back, when he spoke to the media on Tuesday, well, number one, he said that he's ready to go after missing a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. But Campbell wanted to drive home a point of emphasis here on Gibbs' injury. And that's that, they were saying that they are encouraging him to motor up, get to top speed at least once every practice to help avoid injury. It makes perfect sense, right? If you're holding yourself back and you're not extending those hamstrings, and planting and pushing as hard as you would in a game, then yeah, it's only a matter of time before that injury either re-aggravates itself or a new injury pops up. So here's the trick with Gibbs, according to Dan Campbell. He says, and we tell him this, everyone top to bottom tells him this, when you can run like he runs, and I mean this guy can run, if you don't touch that top speed in practice at least once or twice a day, you set yourself up for something to happen on Sunday. You're a guy that runs 22 miles per hour. You better touch it, because the first time you touch it in a game, when somebody is coming after you and you're running away, that's when bad things happen. I never thought about it like that, but I guess now that I've thought about it like that, makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Imagine you're in a game mode and, you're in practice mode, right? You're just running off to the, outside zone. He's making a cut, he's cutting north, getting upfield. He's not thinking about anybody coming to hurt him because it's their practice. Now imagine you have one of your opponents coming after you. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to dig, he's going to stretch, he's going to push harder. And when he kicks off harder and he tries to get to top speed quicker, snap, that's when things will snap, because you have not exercised that hamstring enough. You have not put it to the test. You have not allowed it to incrementally get to top speed, and then you gear it back down. back in the auto industry. So my family, we owned 27 Goodyear stores for a long time, and I managed quite a few of them in Michigan. And there was something that I learned about doing brakes that I never understood. They call it burnishing your brakes. And I learned this from a technician, and man, did it make so much sense. And now I do it all the time. Obviously, I learned it really young, which was helpful in selling brakes and making sure that they were repaired the correct way. But a lot of people just throw parts on their car and they start driving, right? They don't even think about maybe there's an extra step or two. Just like for Jahmyr Gibbs here, maybe there's an extra step or two that you got to get to. So I'm gonna make the analogy here of he needs to burnish in his hamstring a little bit. And what that means is you throw all these new parts on your car, you got all the grease off, they're all cleaned up, ready to roll. You want to get up to like 30 miles an hour, and then you want to slowly get all the way back down to zero. Get up to 40 miles an hour, slowly get back to zero. Get up to 50, slowly come back. You get the idea, right? And then you want to hit it hard a couple of times on the way down. And you do that over and over for like 5 miles. You kind of take it on a trip for 5 miles. You burn off all that, initial layer on the pads and on the rotors. Same thing with his hamstring. He's just trying to smooth them back out again. Get rid of the fraying, right? Just kind of smooth them back out again. Stretch those things out. And look, if he can get to top speed this week, I think we'll be doing just fine. And I expect him to get to top speed this week. I expect Gibbs to have a good game. Campbell said the trick has just been educating Gibbs on that philosophy and making him do that in practice so he doesn't have a setback. So, Dan Campbell, use my burnishing your brakes in analogy. I think it's a great analogy, and maybe he'll understand it, but he probably doesn't know anything about brakes. I don't know. I don't know Gibbs' background, but I can't imagine he's had to fix a whole lot of cars in his day. Maybe he has. I don't know. Football and brakes. Here we go. What do you want to say on that? Jahmyr Gibbs getting ready to set the stage this weekend for a good game versus the Rams. Needs to get those hammies stretched out. Get him up to 22 miles an hour. I didn't know he ran 22 miles an hour.
Hey, this kid is electric fast. He's so much fun to watch. It's going to be amazing. Listen, Campbell's getting him ready, and he's doing it in the right way. He's burnishing his brakes. That's exactly what he's doing. Getting him ready to go for the season. There's no other way to get ready for the season than to actually get ready for the season. Doesn't make any sense to just have him running laps around the practice facility or something until they think he's ready. No, you got to get him out there. Got to let him get hit once or twice. You got to let him get up to top speed. He's going to be just fine. I think everybody's worried about nothing right now.
Love it. So shout out to the members this morning. I know I didn't get a chance to welcome you guys in. I hope Eric did a good job for you guys. But Michael Carity says, streaming the podcast on my TV. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. That just means I'm a lot bigger on your TV now. So I don't know if you're going to like that picture. When I'm nice and small, I can stay hidden. I am rocking the brand new Lions, sideline gear here. I'm dressed from head to toe. We got the socks, the shoes, we got the sweatpants, we got it all on today. Getting ready, man. It's going to be like, what do they call 11 days of Christmas? It's going to be 4 days of football for me. I'm in the Lions gear today, and I'm not coming out of it until at least Monday. I'll change this suit. That's not what I mean. But I'm going to put on new stuff. Joseph Olsen, to answer your question, it's Kyler Murray. Mike P says, jump on those likes, everybody. You guys don't get ads, and you don't get them for a reason. We are the first and the only show to not give you ads because we want you to have that seamless experience listening this morning. So do us a favor, send us the thumb up. It helps us. It helps the channel grow. I haven't been doing crap for videos, so my algorithm's all screwed up. I got to start pumping the videos. I promise they're going to be coming next week. I'm out of time, man. I'm so out of time right now. I need more time. Why can't there be 32 hours in a day? What time is the meetup on Saturday? So if you're going to be going to Pro Sports Zone on Saturday, which I'll be there early, but the mall opens at 10 a.m. The sale's going to start around 10:30. The podcast will probably start around the same time. And I'll have an extra chair. We'll have an extra mic. And if you guys want to jump in and talk Lions, you'd be more than welcome to have you on. So Jay-Z says, I'm so liked, I can't like the show anymore. Appreciate that. And who else is in here? I just saw another. Jay-Z also said pressure testing the system. So that's another great analogy for Jahmyr Gibbs. Got to put some got to get it under pressure, right? Out of pressure comes what? Diamonds. So you just got to put yourself under a little bit of pressure.
If you don't test it, you won't know if you got a leak.
There you go. Donna Milliken, welcome in this morning. Says picked up some cool Black Lion socks at Meijer yesterday. Shout out to Meijer, man. They always do a great job at carrying stuff, and this year being big supporter of the Detroit Lions, that really is going to go a long way. And I got something working with Meijer, but it's going to take somebody else that I'll talk to this weekend to help get it done.
I went to Meijer the other day. I bought Detroit Lions pumpkins. And they're outside in front of my brand new door. I got a brand new orange door for my house. And if you follow me on social media, you'll see my brand new awesome door with my Detroit Lions pumpkins on the front porch. It's awesome.
Orange door? Orange.
Yep. Orange. Yeah, it's orange colored door. It's awesome.
Interesting.
It's got this real neat skinny glass going through the front. And it looks like it reminds me of Lord of the Rings. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's really neat looking door, man. It's orange.
I don't know that orange would be my first color for the front of my house, but to each their own.
It's my company colors.
I gotcha. All right.
Gotta have orange for the Uber lights, man.
I keep thinking it's neon green when I did that logo.
Yeah.
But, all right. So now up next, our headlines and news here is DJ Reader. Week 2 is the week for DJ Reader. Week 2. There's still a chance that we're going to see DJ Reader this Sunday. Right, he might make his debut this Sunday. I'm hoping he makes his debut. He looked great on Tuesday's practice. After missing all of training camp and rehabbing the quad injury, though, Dan Campbell said they're taking it day by day, and he would know a lot more after today's practice, being today, Thursday. And players were off yesterday. Some of them, I'm sure, were in the house getting some workouts in. But obviously, it would be a big boost to Detroit's defense if DJ Reader is able to go on Sunday night against which kind of a patchwork Rams offensive line. But I don't know, man. They always seem to figure out a way. The Rams are a much improved team over last team that we faced, in my opinion. I just feel there's some rookies there that we could take advantage of. But we'll talk about that later on today at 6 o'clock. According to Dan Campbell on DJ Reader, he says he's doing well. And he said this week was really what we had circled to get him the bulk of true football. We had him do some team defense, but also run scout team 2 to go against center Frank Ragnow and guard Graham Glasgow and guard Kevin Zeitler, and just to kind of get his confidence up. So that's great news that they're working in DJ Reader as much as possible, and hopefully get a chance. But where I've been on this whole thing, I said I was cool with him coming back week 6. And that's only missing 4 games. And that was in large part because up until just cut day or the day before cut day or whatever it was, we were under the impression after reading, the report from Doc that Reader had no timetable to come back. And we had no idea that he was even close. And it was like the very next day that they said the Reader was like good to go. He's coming off of PUP. He's going to be activated to the 53, and he's going to hit the ground running and start practice the next week. So that kind of all, threw us for a little bit of a loop, right? And now here we are just a few days ahead of the game, and we're even talking about this guy getting in. That's incredible. But ready by week 2, that's even better. I mean, if we can really get him in and he's comfortable, from what I saw in the videos on Tuesday, this dude's going to be an absolute wrecking ball. And it's going to be exciting to watch Ali McNeil and DJ Reader get after some quarterbacks. Dare I put this out into the world? I don't know, but maybe I will. DJ Reader and Ali McNeil are going to be in the top 5 defensive tackle duos for sacks in 2024. It's a jackpot call. All right, what do you got to say, Eric?
I thought you were going to do you sure about that?
Yeah, no, we're going to go jackpot on that one.
All right, so if you go by the practice report, the injury report for yesterday, DJ Reader would have been a limited participant. They did not practice yesterday, but they did put out the first official injury report for the week, and DJ Reader was listed as a limited participant. So Means he wouldn't have been an absolute full go in practice, but he would have done most of the things in practice. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's okay. He just needs to get, like we've been saying all morning, he needs to get pressure tested. He needs to burnish his brakes. He needs to test the systems. He needs to see if he's ready to go or not, and you can't just throw them out there and expect them to be able to go for the full game. No player can really do that. Not very often anyway. Can't just come off the couch and play a full NFL game. That'd be just about impossible. So, hey, let's burnish his brakes. Let's pressure test him. Let's get him ready to go. And hopefully he's good to go for 10 or 15 plays for this first game, man. Listen, when they announced DJ Reader and he got a sack in the game, that place is going to go nuts.
Oh yeah.
Nuts. It's going to be nuts anyway on Sunday. Oh, and before I forget, we are going to be down at Eastern Market on Sunday for the tailgates at Eastern Market.
Yeah, make sure. Do you have the graphic for it?
I do. You want me to send it to you?
No, I have it. Just would you mind throwing that in the Blue Zone chat if you haven't already?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Yeah, I forgot. I've been off the Blue Zone chat because I've been trying to get all these darn graphics done. All right, so the scheme change. This may or may not come as a surprise to you guys. And I'll talk a little bit more about it today at 6 o'clock when I do the pregame show. And then right after the pregame show, we're rolling right into fantasy football week 1. We're going to have a great conversation with Jared Eisenlohr tonight. 16-time champion in the big high stakes leagues. Dude's a wealth of knowledge. So there is so much we could cover. It's going to take us a couple of weeks. So I'm going to set your expectations right away. Give us 2 to 3 shows to kind of figure each other out. Like we've literally spent 20 minutes talking in this type of a setting, but we spent a few days, down in Canton together. Give us a few shows to get it worked out, but he's going to be bringing some high level stuff and just, some layman type stuff too, to kind of help your beginners, and then of course your savvy vets that do fantasy football. But it's going to be a fun little show tonight with Jared having a conversation about fantasy football. Everyone's, rosters are pretty much set. Obviously I clearly plan on winning week 1 in our league here. But we'll at least have a conversation about some things tonight that will help you get prepared, for next year and throughout the rest of the season too. So we'll have a top 10 list tonight that will help you even throughout the weekend. Thursday is Thursday. I'm sure everyone has some players in tonight, but you still have the weekend ahead of you. And if you do daily fantasy football, that's where he's really going to be able to help you today, is daily fantasy football. So the scheme change, Terrion Arnold and Brian Branch. Now, again, like I said, this may come as a surprise. The whole season, I've been talking about Terrion Arnold and Carlton Davis. Carlton is said that he loves to be on the left side, right? He locks down the left side. Okay. What does that mean? Well, does that mean that he can't play on the right side? No. But if he plays better on the left side, why would Aaron Glenn want to allow him to go to the right side? Well, what's the other thing that I was also saying? That I expected the Lions for once to start traveling with their receivers. That they're not just going to stay on the left side or the right side, that we're going to see these guys traveling across the backfield, following their assignment. Stick with an assignment all game long, maybe. Or maybe you're just kind of picking the best assignment for you during the game. What does that mean? Well, if Puka Nacua comes in, maybe it's Carlton Davis. If Carlton says, hey, I'm struggling, maybe Terrion gets a shot. Well, whoever else comes in on the other side, maybe Terrion goes and covers that guy. But if another guy comes in, I don't have a roster up, so I'm blowing it, with the names here. But, if another guy comes in and they have to do a switch up, now these guys aren't going to be limited. Terrion Arnold, the Lions' first-round draft pick of 2024, has been given the green light to now float on the backside of the defense. He will not stick to one side. And according to Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn, he will not be limited to one side of the field, the boundary or the field side. He's going to be playing both sides of the field. So that means for once, our cornerbacks are going to be traveling and meeting up, with their assignment head on all throughout the game. I think this is going to be super impactful for this defense. It's something that I was looking forward to, even though Carlton said he was kind of painting us into a box of, I'm a left side kind of corner. I lock down the left side. That's great. But I've always wanted to see us start to travel. I was hoping it was going to happen this year. And now we have the freedom to do that. Let's just hope Terrion's ready for this season, his first crack at an NFL game, and could hold it down. I expect nothing less. This guy's rolling into this weekend with nothing but confidence. He's going to have a couple of plays that you're going to be like, ugh, and that's okay. Don't get down on the guy. I better not hear one boo in the crowd. I better hear nothing but claps for the young rookie, even if he makes a mistake, because that's just what he's going to need. Keep his confidence up. If we get his confidence down, then we're crappy fans, right? Got to keep these guys' confidence up. And on defense, man, we need to be super loud. On offense, of course, we've just got to tone it back until a great play happens, and we just need to go nuts. Brian Branch. This one was a little bit shocking to me. Brian Branch was moved to safety this year, which, again, was a call that I made early in the offseason when the Lions were just wrapping up their season. And I felt that Brian was going to make this move back to safety. Last year in training camp, they tried to put him at both positions. It wasn't working out, so they threw nickel down his throat all offseason and said, these are all training camps, so this is what you're going to learn. And he did. One of the best nickels in the game last year. This offseason, they said, all right, we're going to pick up where we left off last year. Now you're going to learn safety. But he's not going to stay at safety. What? He's been playing safety the whole time in training camp, but he's going back to nickel. So this one kind of threw me a little bit. So we have Amik Robertson, who's been an absolute genius out there in preseason. And now Brian Branch he's just not coming off the field. That's the whole point here. When we're in our bigger nickel looks, he's probably going to be at safety. Bigger dime, he's definitely going to be at safety. But sometimes he may be up in nickel. In the non-nickel looks, he's probably down in nickel. So I found this very interesting. And according to Tim Twentyman, the Lions moved Brian Branch to safety this year, but that's not the only spot that we're going to see Brian Branch Brian Branch play this season. Campbell said he likes where Branch is heading into the season, and they expect him to play both safety and nickel in Glenn's defense. What do you think about all that, Eric?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm wearing my brand new Terrion Arnold jersey this weekend. I couldn't believe it when the Lions had the opportunity to take the best cornerback in the draft, in my opinion, in Mr. Terrion Arnold. And the Lions can't believe they got him, and they got him, right? Well, I think he's better than they thought. I think he's better than I thought. I think he is the best corner in this class. And they're talking about Quinyon Mitchell over in Philadelphia about how good he is, and he's going to be a starter day one, blah, 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 blah. Terrion Arnold's going to be even better. He's going to surprise a lot of people. He's not going to be Jeff Okudah, okay? So any fans that got that SOL crap in their minds about Jeff Okudah, just throw it out right now. Oh, and a gentle reminder. Let's be smart fans when we go to the game this weekend. When our offense is out there, zip the lip, be quiet, don't get the chance going while the offense is out there. Hey, Michael Garrity just gave us a super chat, $5. Want you all to know, love my Rise and Grind family. We love you too, Michael. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate you, Michael. Not only is he a member, but he's a supporter. He's a sponsor. He's in here every day, man. I remember when Michael, I think we started chatting on Facebook, and he couldn't find the Rise and Grind morning show, and then he found his first one, and he's never left. So super shout out to you, Michael. Appreciate you, man. And that was just this season.
See, and I didn't even know that. And there was a reason that I picked Michael Garrity. to go to the Tampa Bay game with me next week. And he is so hyped up for it. Every day he makes a post about how he's going to the Tampa Bay game with me. And I love it. I love it when people get excited about this kind of stuff. And there was a reason that I picked him to go to a game. And it was because he follows me on all my social media. He's in the chat every day. He's a moderator on the channel. And he just loves the Detroit Lions, loves Rise and Grind. He's everywhere. And I love it. And I love his dedication. And man, keep it up, Michael Garrity. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So I wanted to show you guys, I got a funny for you this morning. I was looking at Terrion Arnold last night when I was reading this, and I was making the thumbnail, and I'm like, you know what? This dude looks like somebody. And he looks like somebody that was Detroit in the 90s. I think it was Detroit in the 90s. Hold on. Hold the phone here. Hold the phone. I got to make sure I get that correct. I think it was the 90s. Yeah. I don't know. I'm old.
You know what? Well, I'm 40.
When was the first Beverly Hills Cop in Detroit?
Late 80s.
Was it late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Well, that's a big difference. It was 1984.
Oh, it was 84.
So it was 84. So early 80s. So check this out.
Tigers won the World Series.
Check this out. Who does he look like?
There we go.
Tell me he does not look like Eddie.
Yeah,
like
he could play Eddie
he could pass for like his son or his brother.
Yeah.
I mean, legit. I mean, you look at the picture down in the bottom in the middle there. Terrion Arnold is a spitting image of Eddie.
Yeah, that bottom right one too, man.
Yeah. I mean, that one's almost damn near identical.
Who's who? Yeah.
So I'm looking at this last night and I'm thinking, man, I really need one of those Axel Foley jackets.
Mm-hmm.
And it just dawned on me. I'm like, this dude looks just like a young Eddie. I mean, Eddie's all Detroit, man. I mean, he is. So I wanted to share that with you guys this morning. Now you're probably never going to get it out of your brains. And you heard it here first, man. Eddie and Terrion Arnold, they must be related somehow. I don't know, man. That's just too close for comfort for me. They're doppelgangers, you know?
I tried to watch the new Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix. I got 5 minutes into it and I'm like, you know what? This just isn't like the original. I can't watch it.
Yeah, I've been trying to watch that Bigfoot show and I just can't seem to finish it.
Bigfoot show? What Bigfoot show?
Expedition Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait until you get to watch my Bigfoot show.
Yeah. I'll pause on that one.
Listen, I did an on-camera interview for a Netflix show back in June to be the co-host with Jessica Chobot on a brand new show about Bigfoot, UFOs, and paranormal up here in the UP of Michigan. And if it goes, man, it's going to be awesome.
That'd be sweet. They just need to get me in there. All right, here we go. Let's get into the playoff predictor. Let's have some fun with it this morning. This is coming to you from ProFootballNetwork.com's NFL playoff predictor. So this season, man, I'm expecting, obviously, the Detroit Lions to do great things, but I see a few things happening this season with the Lions. With other teams that maybe a lot of people don't expect. And one of those was the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I've been saying that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be the 2024 version of the 23 Texans. And I still stand by that. I think 1,000% that you're going to see Murray have his best season ever. And in large part because he's got a heck of a weapon that they brought in as a rookie, if he can stay healthy. But they've done some things around that defense. Kyler's finally healthy. So I'm really expecting to see where Arizona has a much better season, right? Everyone's been talking trash about the Titans, and I don't want to trash them. I think that they're going to have some unexpected wins. Matter of fact, aren't they starting off with the Chicago Bears this week? And you could see an unexpected win right there. with the Tennessee Titans taking on the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm not going to care too much about the scores in this because, I mean, we could be here all week long trying to figure this out with scores. All I care about is wins and losses at this point for week one. I have not been able to analyze every single team to know, are they going to score a bunch? Are they going to score a little? What's going to happen here? But I think that we can get close. I can't find my chat. I got to find there we go. There's the chat. So let's have some fun with it. Are you guys up for this morning? I need 30 more likes. And while we're getting all those likes, let's get to a sponsor. Here we go.
Here, and you want the latest news and rumors on your Detroit Lions. Head to sportspider.com. That's sports, SPYDER.com, where you can get your Lions news and all your sports in one place. Man, this site is packed with your favorite podcasts, live news, articles from local writers, and insiders, all updating in real time. Not just the Lions, every major sports team, including MMA, UFC, and so much more. Don't want to waste time searching? Sign up for free. Create your ultimate sports news hub. You control what hits your feed at SportsSpider, your number one source for all your sports. Visit sportspider.com today, right after the show.
Gotta love SportsSpider. Can't appreciate them enough for what they do. If you guys legitimately want to get all of your news, your podcast, your YouTube creators all in one place, it is on SportsSpider. Everybody's on there. Every Lions writer is on there. Every national news media is on there. Everything from the top to the bottom. And you get it all in one place. Like, they really hit a home run when they designed that website. That's pretty cool. Lions Talk by Chat Sports saying that he's from Oregon. Is it Oregon or Oregon? I think it's Oregon. Bigfoot, a real thing there. They even have a law not to kill one if ever seen or found. We have a Lions Bigfoot. Hold on, watch this. I saw this on Fanatics. He's got a Lions hat on. It's pretty cool. I had to snag him up. Bigfoot's kind of been a big thing ever since that jerky commercial in the NFL. So, there's some cool stuff out there, I guess. All right, so let's get into this. What do you think about the first game of the night, Baltimore and the Chiefs?
I'm going to take Baltimore over the Chiefs, 21-18.
21-18. All right. I'm with you. But I think the score is going to be flipped. I think that Kansas City is going to pull this one out. I really do. I think Baltimore is going to be a very tough offense to crack. But it is week one, and I want to say that Baltimore typically starts the season a little bit slower, and they're just going to have some fits up against this Kansas City defense. So who are we missing out of Kansas City? So Rashee Rice obviously didn't get suspended.
No.
Which is crazy.
Dumbest thing.
Now, they have had, pretty rough go at it this offseason, but I'm going to go, now I'm putting my scores in here, but I'm going to go Kansas City 23, and I'm going to go Baltimore 21. I think it'll be a little bit closer. Up next will be Green Bay at Philadelphia. So Green Bay traveling to Philly. Has Philly done enough this season to improve their defense, to be consistent enough to take on a team like Green Bay? And is Green Bay going to start fast enough? Are they the fakers of the NFL? Did they fake everybody out last year by having a good run for 8 games? And Jordan Love has these crazy stats. What do you think, Eric? I know what your true feeling is about the Packers, but what's your true analytical sense about the Packers in this game?
In this game, I think this is a very, very close game. Very close. Two very good rosters that are going to go toe-to-toe, and it's going to come down to a last-second field goal. It's going to be who has the ball last. That is what this game is going to come down to. These are two very, very evenly matched, evenly coached teams. But I think in the end, Philadelphia is going to pull off the upset win. It's going to be 38-35 on a last-second field goal, or maybe even an overtime field goal. Maybe this game goes to overtime. 38-35. Philadelphia. See, I told you I was going to be nice to the Packers today.
You had what, 38 to what?
35.
Wow, high scoring game.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of scoring this weekend.
So last I checked, the line on this is -3 to Philadelphia. This will be the first game played in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And that Brazil, going to Brazil comes with its own issues. I would have loved to have gone to this game, but there's a lot of political tension down there right now. The players are already having some rough goes at it. Philadelphia Eagles kind of backed their way into the playoffs after starting extremely hot last year.
What did they go?
And then they went a 1-5 to finish the season. Yeah. And the Green Bay Packers kind of won 3 straight and then earned a wild card spot. Both teams went on the road in the postseason. Philadelphia lost to Tampa Bay in a blowout. And the Green Bay Packers, of course, throttled the Cowboys. So are we concerned about the Eagles resting their starters throughout all the preseason? I don't know. I mean, the Lions kind of did too. So I guess the same could be said for us. Maybe the biggest concern should be that none of their starters played, but a lot of teams are doing it. There's some serious questions about Green Bay's secondary depth behind Jair Alexander. And, of course, they have the newcomer, Xavier McKinney. I think that the Packers could be playoff contenders again this year. Like I said, I thought that they might keep it a little bit tight with the Lions. And then, kind of maybe week 13-ish, the Lions kind of just start running away with it. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Eagles here. Definitely going to go, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a scoring game. I'm going to stick with, I'm going to go 18 for the Eagles and 14 for the Packers. Excuse me. 18 to 14, but here's the thing. We don't know how these refs are going to play them. It's a Brazil game. It's internationally televised. Are they going to play him loose because it's week 1 and allow him to play and get away with some stuff? Or are they going to play him tight? And I think that what does the NFL want? They want a very successful game in Brazil. So they probably want a lot of scoring. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you feel like there could be a lot of scoring in this game? Yeah, I know 18's a weird score, isn't it? Joseph Olsen's like 18.
That's why I'm saying 38-35. Both teams score 5 touchdowns.
So 18 for me would be this. You would have a touchdown, a field goal, and then a touchdown with a 2-point, right? And that touchdown with a 2-point would end the game for Philly, but there might be a little bit of time left on the clock for Green Bay, so they want to get up by 4 and not allow Green Bay to tie. Either way, they would be up by 2, and Green Bay could kick a field goal to win it if they miss it. That's my thought process there in 30 seconds, I guess. All right, Atlanta, hot Atlanta. This is a team that, in my opinion, has a real opportunity this year with Kirk Cousins. And we know one thing is very consistent about Kirk Cousins. He seems to win a lot of regular season games. But beyond that, the guy just absolutely fails in the playoffs. I still think Atlanta is going to have a decent season as long as Kirk is back and healthy. But this Pittsburgh defense, man, we know one thing about them. Their defense is always good, and Pittsburgh is always a plus 500 squad. This could be a tough game for the Falcons, but they're at home, and a lot of home teams win in the week 1. Go back and look at the stats. I'm just going to roll with it that way, that a lot of teams win in week 1. It's a tough week to start, and if you're at home, you definitely have the edge. So Atlanta is -3 the last I checked. Eric, what do you think?
I'm going to take Atlanta over Pittsburgh because I don't have any confidence in either quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I would put up either quarterback, either Penix or Kirk Cousins, over either Fields or the other guy. I no way. So I'm taking Atlanta all the way, 22-17.
So here's the benefit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Arthur Smith, right? Former coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, 8 months after they relieved him of his head coaching duties, he's getting to go up against his other team, his former team. Sorry, struggling with words today. Most of everybody doubts that Kirk Cousins will be able to rebound quickly from this injury, meaning that the Falcons might start a little slow. But have things improved enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively? Is Russell Wilson the answer under center? I mean, I would say, what is he, 36 years old? I would say no. But I do believe I've seen a different Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh than I did in Denver. I think Russell completely hated his time in Denver. That was not Peyton's pick. Peyton did not want Russell Wilson as a quarterback, and it was evident. So now that Russell is probably on his last legs of the NFL, last team, in the NFL, I can't imagine him going anywhere else. He's probably going to retire, a Steeler until he gets a chance to retire a Seahawk. I think that Russell is going to have a pretty good command of this team. I really do. Will he be able to overcome some of the better teams in the NFL? Probably not. But this one could almost be split down the middle here. I think it could be a tight game. Even though I'm expecting Atlanta to start, with a win at home, just because they're at home, I got to flip it. So I'm going to be going 23, 18. No, we'll go 23. We'll go 14 for Atlanta. 23 Pittsburgh, 14 for Atlanta. And what did you have? You had Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I had 22-17 Atlanta.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of home teams just don't lose in week one. But I think that this could be one where the Steelers do a few extra things right. And maybe Kirk is, just trying to figure things out coming back from this injury. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Buffalo Bills. And let me find the line on this one here. 1 second. I thought I had these in order. Guess I don't. Come on. Where's it at? Arizona Cardinals at Buffalo Bills. Here we go. You got Buffalo -6. Buffalo -6. So Cardinals are going to travel cross country to face Buffalo in, this game is a battle of offenses right off the get-go, right? We'll see how Josh Allen performs without Diggs. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And we're going to see how Murray performs with Harrison. And who's going to have the better game? I'm rolling with Murray on this one. I know that's probably, not the odds-on favorite, clearly, with Buffalo at -6. But according to, who said this? O'Donnell. He said, it pains me greatly to make this pick, but it simply boils down to the fact that I'm not ready to be burned. I hope the Bills prove me wrong and give me a reason to back them the rest of the season the way I usually do. And O'Donnell has the Cardinals winning. So that's where I'm rolling. I'm rolling with the Cardinals. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think we're going to see some closer games in the first week. You might have a few blowouts here or there because there's just some teams that just aren't ready. But Eric, what do you think?
I am going to take Arizona in the upset here.
Okay.
I'm going to do 28-23 Arizona Cardinals, because I think this is going to be Marvin Harrison's coming out, hey, here I am game. And you got Kyler Murray, who's been hurt the last couple of years, had coaching situations the last couple of years. I think they finally get it together. And Kyler Murray can be an electric player. I know he's only, 5'6", but man, the kid can play. So watch out.
He's not 5'6", but I hear you. Murray is definitely one of these things, and that is electric. When the kid has the ball in his hand and he's on the ground and he's running, he's tough to stop. He really is. He's one of the more dynamic players with the ball, in his hands when he's running around the field. But this is going to be a game where I think he's going to be able to sit back and kind of zip it around a little bit. And you're right. We're going to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in his first action. Is he going to have a boom or bust kind of game? I think that's what it's going to be. It's either he's going to come out, like you said, shout out, hey, I'm here, or he's going to be tucked away a little bit, just kind of learning the ropes, kind of getting his welcome to the NFL moment. And but I'm rolling with the Cardinals here on the road, which probably not the right thing to do. But Buffalo did lose a lot in defense this year. They did. But I'm gonna go 24. Buffalo 21. Next up, you got Tennessee traveling to Chicago. This is another game. Everyone's doubting the Tennessee Titans this year. They lost everybody, but who did they bring in? You know, that's the biggest question. Who did the Tennessee Titans bring in? And I can't remember right now. So who did the Titans?
They just brought in an amazing linebacker from the Los Angeles Rams.
Yep. Foster, whatever his name is. Right? Is that his last name?
I thought it was Jones.
Jones?
Something like that. Yeah, I thought it started with a J.
That is a big loss for the Rams.
Yep.
Especially right when you're going up against the Lions. Like, what were they thinking? They lost Donald and God, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Chat's got to help me out here.
Who are you trying to think of?
The Rams linebacker.
Oh, yeah. The one that got traded. Somebody will know it down there. Ernest Jones. That's what it was.
Jones. Ernest. I don't know why I said Foster. Ernest Jones.
I knew it started with a J.
There we go. So that is a big addition to Tennessee Titans defense. And quite honestly, I don't know if it's going to be enough to overtake the Bears, but this is Caleb Williams' first game in the NFL, like true first game in the NFL, where he's got to go up against nothing but starters. And I think that Caleb might struggle a little bit. And I'm not just saying this to be a Bears hater, but whether you believe in Caleb Williams or not, he's just been a winner this year in the eyes of the Chicago Bears. He can't do any wrong. And I see a guy that is going to struggle. I just do. I see a rookie quarterback that has just had a little bit too much success, and maybe he doesn't know what it's like to lose this early in the NFL. And I think he's going to realize that this weekend. I think the Tennessee Titans march into Chicago and snatch a victory from the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears probably have this game, and the Titans just do something to come back and win it. If you look at the predictions around the league, 80% are picking the Titans right now, and I don't even know how that's possible. The consensus is the Titans plus 4.5. So Chicago's minus 4.5 headed to this game. I mean, that's a pretty good defense Chicago has. And if they can get after it, yeah, they could make it very difficult for the Titans. They absolutely could. The Titans defense really is not terrible. And Will Levis, I don't know, maybe he drinks a little milk before the game, changes it up. Maybe he has a mayonnaise sandwich or two during halftime. I think he gets it done. I think he does. My score in this game is going to be 17-14. It's going to be a little bit tighter. It's going to be a win in the end. What do you think, Eric?
Pretty similar. So I got a question for the chat to start this off. Do any of you guys, have you watched Hard Knocks with the Chicago Bears? Let me know in the chat if you've watched Hard Knocks with the Chicago Bears. What an absolute stark difference Ryan Poles is compared to Brad Holmes. When they were picking which players were going to stay on the roster and which players were not going to stay on the roster, Poles was so indecisive. And I don't see that kind of general manager type decisions being made by Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell with players where they're indecisive about it. They are very cut and dry. This is the guy we want. This is who's staying. Not and he just looked like a deer caught in headlights if you watch the final episode of Hard Knocks. And to me, I just think that they don't have the GM they think they have. All the Bears fans are like, "Oh, Poles is cooking. Poles is cooking. He's doing this. He's doing that." Yeah, he's bringing in a lot of free agents and he's making a lot of draft picks. So let's see if he can get it all together. So my prediction for this game is this is going to be a very, very close game. This is going to be my closest game of the whole weekend. It's going to be low scoring. The Chicago Bears are going to have 14 points and be up by 7. It's going to be 14-7 in the fourth quarter with a couple minutes to go. And the Tennessee Titans are going to drive down. They're going to score a touchdown and they're going to go for 2 to avoid overtime. It's going to be 15 Tennessee, 14 Chicago, and Caleb Williams is going to have 2 picks, and one of them is going to be for a pick 6.
I love it, but you know what I love even more? Trace, huge shout out, man. Just gifted another 5 memberships. I checked last night, and super shout out to you, Trace. And good point by Mike P. You're just making this channel stronger. You're making this membership stronger. And that's why our supporters. Oh, there you go, Steve K. Steve K just donated 10 memberships. Super shout out to Steve K. That's 15 new members this morning added to the Rocked On Detroit Lions channel. So I was looking last night. I was curious where we are because every week I've got to update, the super shout outs for the members. I can't do it every day because it just seems like every single day you guys keep adding more or people keep joining on their own. But let's take a look right now. As of last night, we had 91 members.
Wow, we're going to hit 100 real soon.
91 members in 15 days.
Whew. That's what they're going to do now.
And that includes the 15 that were just added.
They're going to give 9 more so we can pop 100.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to do it myself, and I'll do it. But that's incredible. So we just added. Let's shout out the new members that just added the Lions faithful. So, we just had another 5 donated. You guys are nuts. Yeah, so Shane Smith, Kyle Esterly, Testia Cold, Monica J, Donkey Kong in the house. Haven't seen Super Bowl or Bust in a while. Who else got added here? We had Griffin 823, Dr. Clapping Cheeks, like that one. That one's funny. Brian Doyle, Chad Wright, James Willis, Jackson Pollock, Bush 308, Daniel Jacob, Harris 2024, Michael Jordan, Wayne Rogers, you are back in it. Let's see here. Joe Schmo just gifted 5 memberships. Super shout out to you, buddy. And he added, remember, these are all anonymous. He added Bruce MacArthur, the Gru X, Numerinal, Wicked 10J, J Dobbs, and I think that's it. And then there's Mike P in there. I thought they added Mike. I'm like, can't add Mike P. He's already in there. So again, awesome work. You guys are absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to one of our guys in the chat here, Ryan Van Valkenburg. He says Eric has the script for that Bears Titans game.
Well, maybe Ryan also had a good point just a minute ago, and then all the members started getting added. So I lost his point. Let me see if I can find it real quick. No rookie has ever won week 1. It's a great point. That's why I'm not picking Caleb. Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that.
We got Quahog Stacker, new sub here. Good stuff. Thanks. We thank you. And is it Quahog Stacker? Either way, I probably butchered it, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining. All right, next up, we got New England at the Bengals.
All right.
New England at the Bengals. And nobody has faith in the New England Patriots.
No.
They might be the worst team in the league this year. They could be. But you know who's going to have an excellent season this year? Bill. Good old Bill Belichick.
Yeah, he's doing social media.
He's doing everything, man. He's all over the. Ryan Van Valkenburg just stepped up with 5. memberships.
Over 100 then.
That means we have, oh, look at that. Quahog Stacker who just joined, just got a membership by Ryan Van Valkenburg. Dick, I'm not saying that one. Normus, D. Normus is in the house.
Yeah.
Mark Garcia, Big T, and Rick all added to the Lions Faithful. That means we have 101 memberships today.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get to talk today. We might just keep hearing the claps all day.
Yeah, we'll get we're like halfway through our picks?
Maybe. And it's 9:00. Yeah, 9:07. All right, so New England at the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, Ryan, thank you. Appreciate you very much. Cincinnati Bengals have a major story going on away from the field. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Bengals have intensified negotiations with star wide receiver Jamar Chase. Chase has missed several practices as he pushes for a new deal, even with, this must be a little bit old, isn't it? No, this is from this morning. Even as he pushes, let me get back to that, for a new deal, and even with questions about his availability, the panel leaned heavily towards Cincinnati taking this game. So I think a lot of people are riding the old coattails of Joe Burrow. I think Joe, he came out swinging like he was hot when he first entered the league, and his temperature has really just kind of cooled off. They lost DJ Reader, which is a big loss for that defense. But whether or not Jamar Chase plays, the Patriots just are that bad. And I don't see how anyone could really lose to the Patriots this year. I would love to see them go 0-17, just so we can get that schneid off the Lions back a little bit further, right? There was one other team that went 0-16 after us, I believe. So Gerard Mayo may be able to slow down the Bengals offense a little bit without Chase, but he still can't fix that offense with Jacoby Brissett behind a very, very weak offensive line. I expected them to take the Big Joe, in the draft, but they decided not to. So the Bengals will score a couple of offensive touchdowns, log a defensive score, and kick a pair of field goals in a blowout victory is what's being predicted. So just about everybody picked the Bengals to win this game. I am also going to pick the Bengals to win this game, and I'm going to keep a lot of these scores kind of the same. So I think that you're going to have probably, we'll go 20 for the Bengals. I see 2 scores, a couple of field goals, and we'll give New England 6. I think they'll get a couple of field goals out of the day. What do you think?
All right. Poor New England. Poor Cincinnati. I don't think either one of these teams is going to be world beaters this year. I really don't. I don't think Cincinnati is going to be everything that everyone is hyping them up to be. But in this game, I think Cincinnati has just enough to pull out the victory. 27-24 Cincinnati.
What's crazy is I actually had Cincinnati in last place in their division this year. I had the Browns, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals. I might make a move on that today. We'll see. Now that we've seen where some of these teams are shaping up, I might make a move on that today. Next up, Houston at the Colts. Look, the Colts can't be denied this year. I'm going to tell you right now, I see a lot coming from this defense. They may not have the best offensive output. Anderson's just got to stay healthy. Let me get to my notes here on the Colts. 1 second. Should have had this queued up.
So Houston and the Colts.
Yeah, you can go ahead go with your take if you want. But
yeah, sure. This should be an interesting game. Indy is getting their quarterback back, and we're going to see how he does. He's nice and mobile. He can throw the ball. Man, that kid can throw the ball 70 yards standing still. I think that Houston is going to give Indy some trouble. And I am going to change my score to reflect that. But in the end, Houston has just enough of a defense and way enough firepower on offense to take this game from Indy. Even though they're at Indy, I think this is going to be a very close game. Probably one of the closest games of the weekend. And this one's going to come down to who has the ball last, just like a couple of the other ones. And yes, I did get the script, Ryan Van Valkenburg. Houston is going to win this game 28-27 on a defensive pick six.
Interesting. Very interesting. Big T says Houston 28, Indy 14. Here's what I got, or here's what I have. Sorry. Houston at the Colts. It is not easy to go on the road ever. And in week one, like I said, a lot of home teams seem to win, but it is also week one. So it usually takes teams a couple of weeks to kind of figure out who they are, what they're going to do. And you're going to have probably a few injuries this week. You do in just about every opening game. You see some players lost for the season, and that sucks. And we hate to see that for anybody. But will Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud prove that he's the real deal this year? Or will he have a sophomore slump? Is Anthony Richardson ready for a second-year breakout after he missed 13 games because of injuries last season? These are real questions. And I don't know that we have the real answer just yet. It's going to take a few weeks to see just where both of these quarterbacks really are going to shape up this season. While we don't have all those answers, right? Sobolewski expects the Colts to stumble in the season opener, as they have done since Andrew Luck's early years. To start, the Colts are notoriously slow starters. And in fact, Indianapolis hasn't won its regular season debut since 2013. That changes this season. The Colts are finally going to push all of that negative energy and that dark cloud out of Indy, and they are going to take down the Houston Texans. The Texans are going to start slow this season. They got a brand new defense. Well, they've added to their brand new defense. It is a crazy good defense. But I think that they're just all going to start a little bit slow on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not saying that C.J. Stroud's going to have a bad season. But you've even seen Peter Schrager, who said that the Houston Texans aren't even going to make the playoffs this year. And I found that very interesting. A lot of people are riding with the Texans, which I expect the Texans to be good. Matter of fact, I said that the Texans and Lions Super Bowl is probable. I still believe that. But we'll find out today exactly where I'm going to end up, because I'm going to put out the final predictions on the season today. It'll be done in a video later this afternoon. Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. I think the Indianapolis Colts defense is going to be a little bit of a surprise here for the Texans. I think it's an up-and-coming defense. I think C.J. Stroud has a decent game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to call a close one here, and I'm going to say that Indy takes down what is going to be a defensive game, 14-10. 14-10, Indianapolis. All right, Jacksonville at Miami. What do you got?
All right. I have the Miami Dolphins coming out hot, playing in Jacksonville. So they're in the state of Florida. They're not going to a cold weather place. It's nice. It's summertime. They're in the state of Florida. I got Miami 27, Jacksonville 14. I do not believe in the hype for Jacksonville this year whatsoever.
Well, according to this stat line, if you like to bet the over on win totals, this might be your game. Miami is right now -3. And the Jacksonville Jaguars have a new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen. And they loaded up on offensive firepower with the addition of wideouts Brian Thomas Jr. and Gabe Davis, a rookie first rounder. And then they brought in Gabe Davis. Gabe's in a great position this year. And that's why I selected him on my Rocked On Fantasy League. So I think,
Speaking of which,
yeah.
You and I play each other this week.
Who does?
You and I, we play each other in the fantasy league this week.
Oh, I didn't. So who's your team?
Decker reported.
Okay. All right. I didn't know who was who. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I'll set up my lineup just in time. Don't worry. The Jaguars are going to face Miami Dolphins defense without its sack leader, Bradley Chubb, torn his ACL last season. And fellow edge rusher Jalen Phillips is coming off of a torn Achilles. Man, the Dolphins really suffered a lot last season. And then they lost Christian Wilkins this year too. But can the Dolphins compensate for the defensive issues with a high-powered offense that scored the second most points last season? Possibly. Can Jacksonville show up and show who they really are or who they're about to be with the addition of Brian Thomas Jr. and Gabe Davis? Trevor Lawrence got paid, right? Does that mean that he's worth it? I think that this game is going to prove it. And I think that your Jacksonville Jaguars enter this game as a better defensive team, especially with Miami's pass rushers banged up. I think Miami's offense is clearly loaded, right, with speed. They're healthy. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't. I think that Jacksonville goes and pulls the upset. I really do. Call me crazy, but I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars pull in 27 and Miami 24. Pulls the upset.
You know what? I forgot to tell you, Will, before you finish with your prediction, I picked A-Chain from Miami in the fantasy league.
Yeah.
And he's going to get 2 touchdowns in this game.
That's great.
So you might want to change who you're going to pick in this game.
No, I'm good. I'm good. No,
Okay.
I think that A-Chain is going to get bottled up.
As long as you remember, my guy's going to get 2 touchdowns.
Sure. You just keep thinking that.
You sure about that?
Ah,
You sure about that? You sure about that?
All right, Carolina and New Orleans. Here we go. What do you got?
right. This one's pretty easy. Carolina, they're still really rebuilding. They're going to be a little better this year, but they don't have enough to overcome Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. I have 23 New Orleans, 14 Carolina.
So New Orleans is coming in as the -4 favorite. The Carolina Panthers hope that their new coach, David Canales, will revitalize this offense that saw Bryce Young really have a rough season last year, which I expected. I did not think that Bryce Young should have been taken as early as he was. But when you are a quarterback-starved team, you're going to do things that maybe you don't normally do or take. Hold on a second. Just had a...
Boy, looking back, doesn't that seem like such a huge mistake, taking him over CJ Stroud?
Yeah, it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. I called CJ Stroud to be the best rookie quarterback out of the class last year, and I said that the year before.
Yeah, because even I was blown away. I thought for sure Stroud was going to go number 1. Just the way he played in the playoffs for Ohio State. I know that people talk about the Ohio State curse for quarterbacks, but I think CJ Stroud he's a hell of a player, man. Even though he plays for the wrong team, I can see talent when I see talent.
Yeah. So the Panthers signed guards Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. And look, it's just not going to be enough. I don't think for I don't think it's going to be enough for the Carolina Panthers to stall out what the New Orleans defense is probably going to be able to do this season. I do believe that their defense is a little bit better. Most of the panelists, they like the Saints, to cover in what should be a low scoring matchup. But it does appear that one guy likes the new look of the Panthers and that they hang around in a close contest. I don't think that Carolina's done enough to walk into New Orleans, which is a tough place to play as it is, and pull out a win here. So I'm going to roll with the Saints, but I do believe it's going to be a lower scoring affair. I'm going to go, again, that wild number of 18. I'm going with the wild numbers this year. 18, and I'm going to go 9 for Carolina. I think Carolina just can't get out of the stall this week. And New Orleans is going to do enough to keep Carolina at bay. Minnesota, and your New York Football Giants. What do you have in this game?
Oh, the poor Minnesota Vikings. They lost J.J. McCarthy. They don't have T.J. Hawkinson. He's on the PUP list. They're kind of decimated, right?
Wait, who did you say they don't have?
They don't have J.J. McCarthy.
They never did.
Well, he kind of got hurt. He tore his meniscus, so he had to have surgery. He's on the shelf for the year. TJ Hawkinson, he's on the shelf for the first 4 weeks. But I think after watching the Hard Knocks offseason of the New York Giants, they are in absolute shambles. And then Daniel Jones has looked like an absolute joke since playing in the preseason and in practices. So I am going to go Minnesota going into New York and pulling out the victory by 4 points, 21-17, Minnesota over the Giants.
Well, give me your score one more time.
21-17, Minnesota over the Giants.
Really? Now, here's what I will say. I do like Sam Darnold. I love Sam Darnold. Matter of fact, I think that was a great pickup for the Vikings. And no, I don't believe that J.J. McCarthy was ever the guy. I really don't. I don't think that he would have got the start even if he was healthy. I think that Sam Darnold, being a proven vet, a quality quarterback, is going to help this Minnesota Vikings team more often than not this year. Dude has a cannon of an arm, and he's going to connect with JJ, the real JJ, Justin Jefferson, quite a bit this season. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see what Hawkinson adds to this unit when he comes back and how much he can help Sam Darnold, in a pinch, be that outlet tight end as needed. And, Hawkinson can make plays with his legs too. One thing I want to look at, though, is the New York Giants defense. The one thing that I notice from the New York Giants when the Lions had their joint practices, and even in that game, I mean, we didn't play well against the Giants at all. We didn't play well in joint practices at all. And we are one of the best teams in the NFL. And I think that tells you something. I get it's just practice. I mean, it was literally the first week of the preseason. But I think that there was a common denominator here with this defense that probably will remain this season. Number one, they've got a 3-year corner in Deonte Banks, who's pretty damn good out of Maryland. Like really good. I really like Banks. Adoree Jackson, I can't remember if he's injured right now. I don't think that he is. But he is entering his 8th season in the NFL. Don't forget about Nick McLeod. I mean, the guy's not terrible, right? They brought in a rookie and Drew Phillips out of Kentucky, who is one of the longer, leaner corners, coming out of college this season. Defensive line, got Dexter Lawrence. Dude's an absolute animal. Can't forget about Dexter Lawrence. Absolutely cannot. On your edge or your linebackers. Let me scroll down here for just a second. Lost it. Where did it go? Bobby Okereke on the inside, right? Inside linebacker, pretty solid linebacker, one of the better ones in the league. Look, overall, I think that this defense was just absolutely nasty. Brian Burns, tough defense, man. Tough defense. Kayvon Thibodeau, tough defense. And look, if Daniel Jones goes down, they still got Tommy DeVito. How can you not like Tommy DeVito? This defense is going to be tough. And what I saw from the New York Giants when they were playing the Lions or, practicing against the Lions, they are physical. They are pissed off. They are physical. They are sick of being the butt end jokes of everybody around the NFL. And I think the New York Giants are actually going to have a fairly decent season this year. It's going to be a little bit of a comeback story, I think, for the Giants and Daniel Jones. I'm not a Daniel Jones believer at all, but I think that he's getting surrounded by the right players at the right time, and it's a big market, so they expect a lot, and you've got to win in New York. Otherwise, it gets pretty bad pretty quick. New York Giants are not going to lose at home. They're going to take down your Minnesota Vikings 24-14. 14 is probably going to be both JJ's touchdowns, by the way.
Ah, there you go.
So let's get to the Chargers and the Raiders. This is going to be an awesome game, in my opinion.
Should be fun. All right, Gardner Minshew. Uncle Rico reincarnated, right? I love it, man. I love Gardner Minshew, man. I was hoping the Lions would get him as a backup. I've always rooted for the guy. I always thought he did an okay job at quarterback. So maybe I'll root for him in this game. And then on the other side, we have Jim Harbaugh, right? New coach. Unfortunately, he's going to be suspended for the first 6 games. Coach Harbaugh is, because of the Connor Stallions advanced scouting.
What did you just say? Hold on, repeat that again.
Well, he's going to be suspended for the first 6 games, right?
Who is?
Jim Harbaugh. But he's
he's
suspended
not.
at Michigan. He's not suspended for the Chargers. Okay, so he cannot coach the Michigan Wolverines this year for at least 6 games.
All right.
But fortunately, he found this new gig out in Los Angeles where he can coach the Chargers for a few games. But he's just getting his feet under him. He's back in the NFL. The NFL is much different than college. And the NFL has changed over the last 10 years while Jim Harbaugh was gone. But he doesn't realize that yet. But he's going to find it out really fast. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to win 20-17 over the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right. Before I get into this, I want to make sure I put a correction in here because I see where Moonscar was saying the Sam Darnold won his first game in the NFL. So I want to make sure we're clear. I probably wasn't clear. No first pick, number 1 pick overall as a quarterback has ever won week 1 ever since what was it? Jim Plunkett, John Elway, 1983, something like that. But no, number 1 pick QBs are 0-8-1 in week 1 since Kyler Murray got the tie in 2019. So that's what we're talking about. If I said all rookies, that would be probably wrong. But
yeah,
number 1 selected quarterbacks overall, first pick overall.
Yeah, because Sam Darnold came in his first game and blew us away.
Yeah, but did he start or did he come in?
I'm pretty sure he started.
I don't remember. All right, Las Vegas at LA Chargers. This is going to be a fun game. This is Harbaugh's back in the NFL moment. I think that Harbaugh is clear in what he likes to do. He likes to run the ball. Absolutely loves to run the ball. It's too bad he doesn't have quorum, right? But for years, the Los Angeles Chargers seem to underachieve when you compare the offseason hype around them and their season-ending results. I think it'll be a little bit different this year, but you've also got a Raiders defense that can get after it. And watching what Jim Harbaugh's done over the last few seasons at Michigan, I don't think that you're going to see a ton of difference with what he's going to do with LA. Even though that the Chargers parted ways with wideouts Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, they have rebuilt, they're built to do what offensive coordinator Greg Roman does best with his offense, which is run the ball. And that's exactly what I just said about Jim Harbaugh. I expect them to run the ball. They have running backs Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, both of which I have on my fantasy league, by the way. They are healthy, and with 3 recent first-rounders along with their offensive line, the Chargers could run all over the L.A. Raiders. And what did we see last year with the Lions and the Raiders on Monday night? We were able to run pretty well. Kind of ran all over them, matter of fact. Even with Crosby being Crosby and crazy, I mean, that dude is just absolute nuts off the edge. Highest motor I've ever seen from somebody. But to analyze this and to kind of put it into perspective here, I think that the Chargers could dominate this game. They gave us fits last year. Like, we were up, we were running away with that game, and the next thing you know, it turned into a firefight. I mean, it was air raid city, and very, very tough team to finally finish out. But we did it. And I just don't see that happening for Las Vegas. I don't have any faith in Las Vegas right now. I just don't. I really don't. But let's see what I come up with here. So the odds-on favorite right now is Los Angeles -3. I think it's a good gap, but I'm going to go a little bit further. I don't even remember what you picked, but I'm going to go LA. I'm going to go Chargers. We'll go 24, and we'll do Vegas at 17. That's where I'm at. What did you have, Eric? Do you remember?
I had 20-17 Las Vegas over the Chargers.
Gotcha. All right, Denver at the Birds, the old Sea Chickens.
All right. Are you mentioned a word just a couple of minutes ago.
Okay.
Hype, right?
Yep.
Want to know who's going to be having a lot of hype after this game? The hype train is going to be going nuts. Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix is going to have the opening game of a lifetime against the Seattle Seahawks in their house. He is going to destroy them. 31-24 Denver over Seattle.
One more time.
31-24 Denver over Seattle. Bo Nix hype train, here we go.
Bo Nix. You know what's crazy? What was my favorite football? The favorite football movie of all time, Draft Day. Wasn't there a quarterback named Bo Nix?
I don't know.
I'm almost positive there was. Hold on here. Draft Day movie.
He's got to look it up. Hey, we're at 99 likes. All you guys got to do, all you guys and gals in the chat, all you have to do is give us one more like. Get over the chat for 1 second. Give us a like. That'll make 14 days in a row that live on air we've had 100 likes during the show in the first 2 hours. That's super amazing. We got 30 minutes to do it.
We finished at it was Bo Callahan, not Bo Nix. Yeah, we just finished yesterday as the show was ending. I think it got up to 101 like as soon as the show ended. It was crazy. It was a flurry of thumbs.
Yeah,
flurry of thumbs. Now. I don't know where we're at right now.
100. We just did it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. It's amazing. All right, so Javonte Williams, look, he's gonna be a special running back for Denver this year. But the guy behind him, Jaleel McLaughlin, a little birdie told me yesterday that this guy might be exciting to watch this year, especially when you tend to have a lot of running back injuries. Keep your eyes out for Jaleel McLaughlin, and we'll see if that information comes out again tonight. But your starter, Bo Nix, throwing to wide receiver Cortland Sutton. Could be an amazing thing to watch this year. And then you've got the old reliable Josh Reynolds. I know that you guys are upset about a couple of balls in the NFC Championship game, but that's behind us now. He's now on a new team. Josh Reynolds has always been Mr. Consistent, and he's going to help this young quarterback in more ways than one. And then you've got Marvis Mims Jr. I mean, that is a stacked wide receiver trio if I've seen one. The tight end, look, Adam Trotman, not impressive. Greg Dulcich, not impressive for me. They are carrying a fullback this year, which I find interesting. Their offensive line is, it's okay. It's okay. They're probably at the back half of offensive lines, like 20th maybe. I don't even know where they're ranked right now, but I would say they're probably in that area. It's not impressive. So hopefully Bo is not having to run, all over the place. But if he does, he's got some wheels. But on the defensive line, Zach Allen, you got DJ Jones, Franklin Myers, linebackers, Baron Browning, Alex Singleton, Cody Barton, Jonathan Cooper. I mean, that's a pretty solid front line for the Broncos this year. Pat Surtain, who just locked up a huge contract, and Jaquan McMillan back there at nickelback. It's pretty decent defensive backfield. I still feel like they're missing a little bit in the backfield, the DBs. I think they're missing a little bit. Backup inside linebacker Drew Sanders, really liked what he's able to do. They're not as deep as they need to be. I see the Broncos kind of on the same trajectory as where the Lions were. It's kind of weird when you watch how the Broncos are kind of building out the same way the Lions did. Terrible first season. They're probably going to be, middle of the road this season. And then next year, you might see them take off a little bit. So are these the surging, bucking Broncos? Probably not. They're still in the rebuild mode. But I just don't see where the Seahawks are going to be that much better, in this game. I think that this is even though Seattle's, favored by 6, I don't see the reality in this. I really don't. Geno Smith is Geno Smith. Like, he's not a world beater. He's an average quarterback. He's got decent legs, but you're talking a major coaching change here. And sometimes with a major coaching change, it could take, 4, 5, 6 games this season for this team to figure itself out. Not only are they going to start slow like most teams do in the beginning, they're going to start a little bit slower because they've got a major coaching change. The fact that Denver is traveling to the 12th man country, that can create some issues, and that could be too much for Bo Nix to overcome. But I'm going to roll with the Broncos. I'm going to roll with Peyton on this one. I think that they might just be able to do enough defensively to stop Seattle. But I don't know that it's going to be a high-scoring affair either. I think I'm going to roll with this one, though, the exact opposite of what everyone else has done. 23-19 Seattle. Or 23-19 Denver.
We agree on one.
All right, Washington. Are we totally opposite this whole day so far?
A few of them, yeah. So the last 3 games, I went with the away team. Now, the next 4, I'm going to give you guys a clue. I'm going with the home teams because I like picking home teams, especially in week 1. So we have Washington Commanders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay was a playoff team last year. They got most of their core back. Washington, shambles. They were trying to get Ben Johnson. They were trying to steal Ben Johnson. So just for that, just for the grudge factor, I am going to take Tampa Bay over Washington 17-14.
All right. 17-14 Tampa Bay. Well, this is Jaden Daniels we're talking about, right? The guy that I thought that should have been the number 1 overall pick over Caleb Williams when you're talking about quarterbacks. I still believe in that. And welcome Dylan into the stream this morning. It says 116 likes now. That's awesome.
Oh, that was fast.
We're moving right along.
Yeah, let's hit 200. Hell.
So with the fact that Washington is in a rebuild, right? They are starting from scratch in my opinion. Let me pull up their depth chart one more time because I just want to make sure I get a couple of things right today. Jaden Daniels obviously is your quarterback, but they've got running back Brian Robinson Jr. Again on my fantasy team. Terry McLaurin, he's been an average receiver. He's kind of like one of those boomer bust guys. But behind him, they added Luke McCaffrey, who can be exciting. I think that, to see what Luke develops into is going to be fun. Obviously, McCaffrey's brother. Their other wide receiver, Olamide Zacchaeus. I think that's how you say his name. But then they also have Noah Brown. And there was a lot of Lions fans, kind of pounding their chest for Noah Brown this year. I didn't see it happening. When I took a look at his stats the other day, he had a couple of impressive games last season. Matter of fact, we'll highlight it real quick. So in 2023, he had 33 receptions, 55 targets, 567 yards, 17.2 yard average, only 2 TDs on the season with a 75-yard long. Can I get granular with this? Can it open up for me, please? He played his first, 5 seasons with Dallas, and then last season with Houston, and now he's on to his 3rd team. Noah Brown is, he's good, but he's not somebody that I would, put all of my eggs into one basket and hope that he's going to do something with it. Last year, he had a couple of really standout games versus Cincinnati, versus Tampa Bay. And where is he at this week? Tampa Bay. Can Jaden Daniels find a way to get Noah Brown active in this game? No, I'm sorry. Hold on here. Yeah. Can Jaden Daniels find a way to get Noah Brown active in this game? Noah Brown had some success last year against Tampa Bay. He really exposed them. And I think that's the reason why I'm rolling with the Commanders in week 1 on the road against a playoff team from last season. It's crazy to even think this, but again, I don't ever do anything normal in life. I always try, to go against the grain a little bit, and I'm just not going to follow in anybody else's footsteps. I'm just not going to do that. I think that I see something different here, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time, and that's okay because a lot of us are wrong in all of these games. You just don't know until you see it. But I believe the Washington Commanders are going to get out hot in this game. And you know what? If you don't bottle up Jaden Daniels, he's just going to run it all over the place. Dual threat playmaking ability. He's going to bring some much needed excitement to this Washington football team. I think that we're going to see Daniels flash right away. Quote from Bleacher Report. To me, this feels like a sleeper candidate for the most entertaining game of week 1. Jaden Daniels is going to bring a fun factor to Washington that we haven't seen in years. And we'll have a chance to shine immediately against a suspect Broncos or Buccaneers cornerback group. However, I don't think that Washington did enough this offseason to address a pass defense that ranked dead last in yards allowed last season. Well, that was right behind the Lions, right? The Lions were right there at the bottom of the league. I think we were 27th-ish. But I don't think that the Buccaneers have done enough to get better either. I really don't. They've got a defensive head coach, though. Quinn, defensive head coach. I like the Commanders in this game. I'm going to flip-flop the score here. They have the Buccaneers at 24, the Commanders at 20. And you know what? I'm just going to flip-flop 24-20, Washington over Tampa. Lock it in.
That's Will's bold prediction for the
we call that a
week 1
jackpot. All right, Dallas at Cleveland.
Oh, man. So Dallas. Man, what are they doing down there? I don't know. So
old Jerry World.
Yeah, Jerry World is all messed up. They can't figure out what they're doing. Cleveland, they're getting their crap together.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I mean either. So I'm going to say I'm going with home team on this one. That's about all I can say. You know what my mom said? She said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. You know that? So I'm not going to say anything bad about Dallas. I'm just going to say Cleveland's going to win 32-14. This is the biggest blowout of the weekend.
What did you say? What was it?
It's going to be 34-14 or 32-14, excuse me. And it's going to be the biggest blowout game of the weekend. And it sucks because I have Dak Prescott as my fantasy football quarterback going against Will. And I'm going to say my quarterback is going to have a bad game. He's only going to put up 2 touchdowns and he's going to have a couple of interceptions. So it's going to suck for me, but Cleveland is going to win 32-14.
I'm riding with the Browns. And according to Moonscar, Cleveland 8-1 at home last season. Very good defense. It is a very good defense. Cleveland is favored at -2.5 to enter this game as of right now. The Dallas Cowboys didn't make any offseason splashes. Jerry had no clue what he was doing. He could barely even keep his own guys happy. You have Dak Prescott entering the season without a deal. He's making, $60 million or something this year. But he has nothing behind it.
And I forgot. Sorry to interrupt you. Jerry said they were going all in this offseason, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, they went all in on nothing. They did sign CD Lamb to a 4-year, $136 million extension. But is it a little bit too late? CD Lamb hasn't been, anywhere near training camp. I mean, he's there. He wasn't there. He was there. He wasn't there. But they haven't really practiced a whole lot. And I see where, Dak Prescott is entering a season where maybe he's going to make some business decisions. Maybe he isn't going to be the guy going for it all the time. Going for that extra yard, trying to inch out that first down. Why? Doesn't have a guaranteed money. He gets hurt, he's going to have a crap contract next year. I just don't see it. I don't see Dak putting it all on the line for a team that's not putting it all on the line for him. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So I don't see where he's going to risk it for the biscuit against Myles Garrett. Absolutely not. I do believe that Myles Garrett is one of the best, or if not the best, pass rusher in the league. He's shown it every single season. A few analysts picked the Browns to win outright, and I think that that's the play. Last season, the Cowboys faced a top 10 defense on 6 different occasions, and Dallas finished 3-3 in those games. I don't think it's going to be any different this year. I think that the odds-on favorite to make a difference in this game is Dak Prescott by not performing the way that he normally would, by not going for it, by not putting his body at risk. I don't think he's going to do that. The Browns still have some serious questions about whether Deshaun Watson will ever return to form, but they can put the ball on the ground too. 4-time Pro Bowl running back Nick Chubb will not be able to be in the lineup this weekend. That could be some issues for them to put it on the ground and just run away with it, but they still have some weapons on this offense to complement what could be the league's best defense this year. We'll see what happens, but man, Browns are favored. Browns are not favored in this game. Browns are favored in this game at -2.5. The consensus score is 20-19. Cowboys over the Browns. I don't think it's going to be that close. I really don't. I think it's going to be more of 21-10 Browns. All right, now the game of the week. Sunday night. Rams and Lions. Go ahead.
Are you guys ready for this? I am. We're all going. We're going to be down there. I cannot wait. Jared Goff. Let's go Lions. Let's go Lions. It's going to happen. We're going to get the chance going. It's going to be off the hook. Man, we're going to be there all day. Our fans are going to be so drunk and ready to go. They're going to be amazing.
Drunk on excitement, right? On excitement. Yeah, thank you.
Telling you. They're going to be drunk on other stuff.
Careful. Drunk on excitement.
Because, listen, they're going to be so ready for this game. They have all day to watch football. And at 8:20, the Detroit Lions, Jake Bates is going to kick that ball. It's going to kick off the season for the Detroit Lions. It's going to go back. It's going to be a touchback. They're going to get the ball at the 30 because the Lions aren't going to care this year. I don't think they're going to kick it off the way everybody thinks they're going to do kickoffs this year. I think most of the teams are just going to, it's just going to be a touchback all the time. Give it to them at the 30. Who cares? Our defense is good enough. Let's go. Our defense is better this year. It's going to be better on Sunday night. I have the Detroit Lions winning 31-17 over the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, their offensive line is in shambles. Their starting left tackle, he's suspended for the game. Their center, well, that's going to be Jonah Jackson, who hasn't played center full time since college or high school. This game is going to be so much fun. It's going to be awesome, and it's not going to be close. 31-17, Detroit Lions win.
So your score, that you took my score. The other day you had 31-25.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. I got to make it back the way it's supposed to be. Yep.
I had 17 in that game. I'm not going to shy away from that.
Yeah, 31-25.
I mean, you can change your score.
No. I want to keep my score the same.
Yeah, so you had 31-25. I had 31-17. But before I get to the why and how of that score, we are welcome to Sunday night, the sequel, right? The sequel, the rematch of all rematches. This may not be the last time we see the Rams this year, but it will be the last time we see them until playoffs, potentially, right?
Yep.
The rematch of the NFC wildcard game. The Detroit Lions, their first home playoff game. The lights are dimmed. Your wrist is blinking, right? The stadium's going nuts. And fireworks is an understatement. The Lions put in the fireworks like the 2 games before that. Every time a touchdown was scored, a little firework would pop up in the rafters. And I have to say, the first time they ran that, it kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. You probably knew what I was thinking right off the get, like, where is it? Who's got it? Where is he? You know, but no, it was true fireworks in the stadium. And these teams are forever tethered, right? I mean, it's the infamous quarterback swap. It's the deal of all deals. It's Brad Holmes the magician. It's let Brad cook. It's, you name it, 2 evenly matched quarterbacks statistically being swapped. And Detroit Lions fans thought that another bridge was being built in Detroit. And its name was Jared Goff. And how wrong were they? Thankfully. I was one that has been riding with Jared Goff since day one. I never gave up on Jared Goff. I always thought that he just needed a team around him. And last year he proved that with the right semblance of a team, the right coaching staff, consistency, and continuity in Detroit for the first time ever since I've been a Lions fan. Ever since I was 4 years old at my first game, have I witnessed a team that has been so tightly wound together, right? You don't have any loose ends anywhere. We're not just picking up scraps. We're not dumpster diving, and just accepting whatever we pull out of the trash and putting it on a roster. No, we got players that want to come to this team. This is a new time for Detroit to enjoy the fruits of the labor of this organization finally doing the right things. Chris Spielman has spearheaded a lot of this with Sheila Ford Hamp. And huge shout out to both of them. In recognizing very early on that they needed to scrap everything and start over. And now you're entering week 1 of the 2024 season after what was the best season we have ever witnessed as Lions fans, at least in the last 30 years, 32 years, whatever it was, 32. And here we are again going up against the Rams. Here we are again going up against Matthew Stafford. And, the stories coming out with Kelly and it's all there again. But that's not going to be what this story is going to be written about. The story is going to be written about the Lions continuing to build upon their own legacy and continue to reshape football in Detroit for the foreseeable future. A franchise quarterback in Jared Goff that just got an amazing deal. And then you look down to the right of the line and Penei Sewell, cornerstone of this offensive line, signs a big deal. And then you look all the way opposite to the left and Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 14, 4th round pick, signed an amazing deal. The pinnacles, right? The cornerstones of this team are going to lead this team into week 1 again, but this time with a different attitude. It's going to take more. It's going to take more in this game. I promise you the Rams are a better team without Aaron Donald. I promise you that. But it's not enough. It's not enough for the LA Rams to march into Motown and try to snatch a victory. It's not going to happen. The Lions definitely have the edge defensively in this. They really do. They have the edge offensively in this. The Rams are beat up on their offensive line. You have Jonah Jackson, who, in my opinion, is a way overpaid left guard now playing center, a position that he hasn't played in a very long time. One of the most difficult positions to play on the field, period, is center. Frank Ragnow does not get enough respect for what he does. Not only for the grit, right, the toughness that he has to exude every single week to battle through the injuries that he's faced throughout his career. But his intelligence, I don't think people really understand just how smart Frank Ragnow really is. And just how important he really is to Jared Goff. But this is a week that the Detroit Lions they're on the fence, right? This could be a barn burner in the very beginning. This could be, we let up a touchdown early. We have to fight back. Rams might get the ball first, like Eric was saying. We might win the toss and kick it off. But what I've seen out of the Lions is if we win the toss, we like to take the ball. We want opportunity number one to be in our hands to march down and to put that ball in the end zone to keep the Rams on their heels. We want that energy on our side, the momentum on our side. If you march down and score first, your defense now has the momentum. And that's what I expect. I expect us to win the toss, take the ball first, march down and score. But that doesn't mean that the Rams can't come back down and score right then and there. It's opening week, man. There's going to be a lot of jitters. A defense that, in my opinion, looks much better. One of the deepest rosters I have ever seen defensively. Your Lions are definitely winning this game 31-17. And tonight at 6 o'clock, I'm going to get into more on this and the nuts and the bolts of it all. That's probably what I should call it, right? The nuts and the bolts pregame show. I don't know. We'll have fun with it at 6 o'clock, and then we're going to roll right into the fantasy league. But the last game of the week. Let me get my score changed here.
Yep.
We
have San Francisco 49ers bringing in Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Oh, whoops. I almost put the wrong one up there. Oh, there we go.
So, good old New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers coming back from the Achilles. Can he do it? Can he get back?
Hold on, Eric. Before we get into the last game,
okay.
let's see what people are saying real quick about this game. So, Ryan Van Valkenburg says, I don't see the game being close again. Regardless of the score, I think the Lions win by more than a TD. Stafford will get at least one interception and sacked twice. I'm going to talk more about that tonight, Ryan. Rob Brown says, remember just to drink responsibly. And just so everyone knows, drunk on excitement, right? That's what we are. We're drunk on excitement. Everybody knows I'm not a big drinker, man, of spirits. I'm just not. Very, very rarely.
Me neither.
Riley O'Brien. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Mike P, keep preaching, Will. Lions win, Lions win, Lions win. Travis Scott says Waymo, and that's Waymo J-Mo. Is he gonna have his coming out? Welcome to the NFL. I'm back and I'm here to stay kind of party tonight. Frank Ragnow makes all the offensive line calls, according to Peter Van Laarhoven. Very true, man. That's what Frank does. Frank is so critical to this team. Josh Jackson just hopes that our cornerbacks can contain those wide receivers. It's a tall order. Puka Nacua, hey, we got tape now. You can't ignore how good this guy is. But now you have tape on the guy. More tape than you had last year. We've seen a few wrinkles that the Rams were trying to put into that game last year. Peter says Jamel's going to score a TD. And then kind of on to the Jets, it looks like. So, I mean, am I wrong in thinking that the Lions are going to win by 14? I mean, maybe. It could be a little bit closer. Moonscar thinks it's a homer pick, but Lions keep the crowd a factor. Yeah, it's not. Look, I'm not homering this pick. I just see the Lions coming out and putting up 31 points. I do. Maybe they don't break 30, but I definitely see them winning by more than one. I definitely see him winning by more than 7. I just think that the Rams have got too much of a deficit to start week 1 in what will be the loudest stadium of the season. For sure. We may not break the full record, but it will be the loudest recorded decibel of the season.
Hey,
if you thought that getting into the stadium 2 hours early last year was just by chance. It's going to happen again this year because everyone wants their Jahmyr Gibbs bobblehead.
Yep.
So get your butts in your seats early. You got the whole day to party and visit Detroit and hang out all day long. Get there at 8 a.m. Get inside that stadium as soon as those doors open.
5 o'clock.
This raffle is probably going to be $500,000 this year. So it's going to be awesome. All right, let's get into the Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. We are just after 10:02 a.m. and then we're going to wrap it up. So New York Jets, Peter Schrager has these guys winning the division. Has the San Francisco 49ers, I think he had them third in their respective division, which possible. Do we trust Karen Rodgers at all to do anything? I don't know. What do you think, Eric?
Well, the 49ers have had, 4 or 5 years now of dominating the NFC West. The Rams had it 1 year. They went to the Super Bowl. Other than that, the 49ers have been a very good team. And then on the other hand, you have the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers coming back from his Achilles. Can he be better? He's got Mike Williams. Maybe he did enough ayahuasca this year to fix his Achilles. Now, for me, this game is having to root for the lesser of two evils. I have never been an Aaron Rodgers fan, and I have never, ever been a San Francisco fan. Not really big on the Jets. I don't believe in Robert Saleh. So, in this game right here, I have to pick a winner. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to come down to a field goal. San Francisco 31, New York Jets 28.
Okay. You picking the 49ers?
Yeah, I don't want to. It's probably not the popular pick, but they are the home team. So always got to give the home team 3 points. That's where it comes from. They win by 3.
Oh, I mean, you're right about one thing. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Just can't. I never have liked the dude. He's just one of those guys that just kind of rubs you the wrong way. But you can't deny the fact he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yes.
But the dude's like 67 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the age is it's a real factor in life. I realize that now at 44. Yeah, your body kind of degrades on you. I just found out I have to get a whole hip replacement. So not at 44. I mean, I played rough when I was a kid. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s was different. Yeah, we didn't use airbags or pillows, man. We hit the ground. So in this game, here's what you have. I think the storyline is pretty simple for this one. San Francisco is coming off of another Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs. They have made it to the NFC Championship game 4 out of the last 5 seasons. They have been in 2 of the last 5 Super Bowls. That's pretty damn good for the 49ers. But something just isn't going right where they just can't get over the hump. And I don't think that really changes this year. Matter of fact, I think that there could be a potential big regression after what has happened this offseason for the 49ers. You didn't have any continuity with Brandon Ayuk. That was a complete mess. Who was their tackle that they just signed? Trent Williams.
Yep.
You had another mess there.
Yep.
And I think that can cause some locker room divide. I'm not saying that it will, but it can. Not real sure what's going on inside San Francisco 49ers halls, but something is brewing in New York. It's going to be anything but easy for the Jets to march into San Francisco. But after watching the Lions march in there and do what we did in the first half, It can be done. It's just sustaining it in the second half that we suffered, the defeat at our own hands. This season for Aaron Rodgers could be his last. It really could. This could be a battle of two of the better rosters, the New York Jets defense that could be the best defense in the league. And I think that that's going to spell trouble for Brock Purdy. I really do. When Brock Purdy gets, rattled, he stays rattled. You have to keep the pressure on. You have to keep the right pressure on him. You have to keep him bottled up. You cannot let him find a crease. If he finds a crease, he's able to get away. And I don't see that happening with this Jets defense. Even though the Robert Saleh's not proven to be the best offensive guru, he's always been a fairly good defensive guru. Maybe he would have made a better defensive coordinator. I don't know. Is Breece Hall the X factor in this game? Probably. Probably is, if the Jets are going to win. Two of the best defenses going at it. It could be a pretty tight game just because of that fact. And the fact that it's week one and you've got two really good defenses going after it, I think it's going to keep this game a little bit closer than what we're expecting. It is Monday night, right? It's going to be a great game. It's going to be on display for the entire world to see. But I think that the Jets just find a way in this game. And I'm going to go Jets over the 49ers because I don't want the 49ers to get a win to start the season. I really don't. I want to see the Lions capitalize on the NFC quickly and all season long. So I'm putting it in the air. New York Jets are going to take down your San Francisco 49ers, and it's going to be 17. Whoops, not 178. 17-13. A touchdown and 2 field goals for San Francisco. Moody gets a couple of kicks. The 49ers only find the end zone one time. But the Jets find it 2 times with a field goal to seal off the victory. They'll be up by 1, headed in maybe to the final few minutes of the fourth quarter. Maybe the 49ers get the ball back. Maybe they don't. But your Jets take down the San Francisco 49ers to open the season. But after that, I have no belief in Aaron Rodgers. None. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the Jets at the top of the East, because I do. But you're talking about the Patriots and the Bills and the Dolphins, and I just think the Dolphins have an epic collapse this year. So there it is. There is your prediction for week one. I would say that I could keep this. I'm going to download it, and we're going to keep this running forward all season. These are my predictions for the week. We'll see how I do. This is kind of a new thing. It won't be as long from week to week. The next week, I'm going to have it filled out before we get in, and it'll only be about a 10 or 15 minute segment at most. But that'll be predictions of the week that we'll do every Thursday morning. So I appreciate everyone for joining us this morning. It is 10:10. Eric, any final thoughts?
Yeah. My bold prediction for this season, Robert Saleh will be the first coach to be fired during the season. There you go. You got it right there.
That's funny. I don't know, man. Something tells me the NFL just wants Aaron to win.
Yep.
And maybe these refs are just all over it. But I also feel, and I'm not saying this to be negative, but you mentioned it earlier, the whole ayahuasca thing. And, is Aaron Rodgers starting to become a black eye on the league? I'm wondering.
Will, have you watched Joe Rogan? Ever watched his podcast?
I watch him almost every day.
Okay. Have you ever watched the ones with Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I catch him a few times. I try not to watch those ones.
Watch his newest one.
Really?
You will have... it's not going to change your outlook on Aaron Rodgers, but you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't realize this guy was that far out there.
I mean, he is a little bit out there, but he's definitely a free spirit. Let's put it that way. He's a free thinker. He's actually really intelligent. He's a super smart dude, but that doesn't mean that he's not becoming a black eye, for the NFL with all of this other, that he brings into this.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to see him exit sooner rather than later. I don't know. But anyway, you guys have been great this morning. You tell me right now, is having that screen up, is it too distracting? Should I put it more in? See, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but if I were to put it in the guest screen, kind of where I have Eddie and Eddie number 2, and I could probably put that right there. It might be a little bit small, but at least it's there for receipt purposes. And it might be a little bit easier on the eyes. You guys let me know in the comments. How would you rather see that screen? Would you rather see it tightened up like this or the way that it was? You let me know, please. That would help. But that's it for today. Back at it tomorrow morning. Today, 6 p.m. pregame show right here on Rocked On Detroit Lions at the Rocked On Podcast Network here on YouTube. And then tonight, we're kicking off our first Fantasy Football Tonight FFT TV right here on Rocked On Podcast Network with Jared Eisenlohr. I think you guys are really going to appreciate the things that he's bringing to the table. And I found out a little nugget of information last night. Apparently, had no idea the dude's related to Eric. Go figure. Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah. Newberry, Michigan. What a small world.
Craziness. Very small. Very, very, very small world. But anyway, I don't know if I can handle 2 Erics and being Lions fans. It's
I tell
right,
you
what, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I'm so jazzed up. Football is back. Let's go.
All right. We'll see you guys later on tonight. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Go Lions. Go One Pride. See ya.
Adam Schefter at ESPN says there's 275,000 people.
Well, that was some party in downtown Detroit. 775,000 people shattering the NFL draft attendance record.
This is the future.
All grips.
Evolution. This is the future.
All grips.
Evolution.